So, welcome to this little preview of the model USS Stevens, the DD-479. This is the 1 to 200 scale from Trumpeter. It's brand new. Haven't opened it yet, or I've looked into it, but haven't looked very much on the inside on the plastic parts, all the bits. What about USS Stevens? Well, it's a Fletcher-class destroyer, and it was in service from 1943 to 46. So, and it was eventually sold for scrap in 1973. So it didn't have like a long life. It's an interesting little thing because USS Stevens was one of 3 destroyers in the Fletcher class that was completed with a catapult for a float plane. The 2 other sister ships were the Pringle and the Halford. So the catapult and the aircraft crane were located just aft of the number 2 smokestack. So you can see it on the picture here, and that was a substitute for the in place of the torpedo tube mount, 5-inch mount number 3, and the second deck of the after deck house, which normally carried a twin 40 millimeter anti-aircraft gun that normally was on these the type of class of the ship. So one of the twin 40 millimeter mounts were moved back to the fantail, as you can see here, just forward of the depth charges, where most of the ships normally carried in this class, in the Fletcher class, where they carried 20 millimeter mounts. It was intended that the float plane be used for scouting for the destroyer flotilla, which the ship was attached to. The spotting plane would be launched by the catapult, land on the water next to the ship, and then recovered by the aircraft crane. Well, I think the thought were good, but it turned out not to be operationally suitable for the intended purpose, and all of the 3 ships were ultimately converted back to the standard class, or the standard Fletcher class configuration later. So, what's in the box? Let's see. So, the total length of the model is 573 millimeters, and that is approximately 225.6 inches, if my head count is correct. Something that I was really surprised about is the amount of photo etch that is accompanying this model. That being said, there are a lot of 3D printed parts that you can get now, especially for the Bofors cannons. That's basically the same as you can get for the battleships. So let's look at the details of the Boforses and the main guns. The 127 millimeter main guns, if I'm not mistaken. So let's open the box and see what's inside. So the first thing that I see is the color callouts. This is a boring color. It's basically the navy blue. But I do know that the USS Stevens also had a measure 30, I think it's called, camouflage scheme that could be a possibility to paint on this ship instead of the ordinary navy blue color, which is pretty dark. I'm going to just try to see if I can find the appropriate measure scheme and see if we can get that into get a complete or correct name of it. So it's called measure 32, and I guess that's basically called medium pattern system, and I guess when it comes to painting that ship, I think that would be a much more fun camouflage to have on the ship than this just ordinary navy blue one. But it's up to you. One thing that I really miss about from the trumpeter callouts, or the color callouts, is a rigging scheme. It would be so fun if they started shipping a rigging scheme with these models. But I think there are available some details about that on the web. So the first one, let's just quickly go through the instruction sheet. It's approximately about 490 pieces. We have two fairly large photo etch frets. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. I assume these are the main guns. The hull, deck, hull plane. I guess this is the superstructure and all the different other parts. So it's not a lot of parts. So the next one is basically this is the decals. Compared to the Japanese decks on their destroyers, most of the destroyers and cruisers, I also think they had linoleum on many parts of the deck with a pretty vibrant color. That's not so for the US destroyers. They had basically anti-skid put on the steel deck. I assume maybe some rubber. I haven't checked that out. So, but I assume it's anti-skid carpet, for the lack of the better word for that. So, again, all of the little parts that are on the ship. I think maybe this this protection of the propeller protection is plastic, but I'm not sure if it is in the photo etch. I hope it is in the photo etch, because normally these parts are too thick. Also, these railings are normally too thick. Maybe they are in photo etch also available. Again, pretty straightforward. Depth charges. Chain, that's always nice. Not the plastic one, but it's, I assume that it is metal chains. Depth charges on the aft deck and on the sides. I can see that there are some photo etch. Yeah, for the photo etch for the individual depth charges here. That's nice. Photo etch is so much nicer on these kind of parts. Again, this is the I assume it's the Orlicon. You get the PE, you get the protection shield in photo etch, but if you do have the money and the will, order the 3D printed parts. And then we start getting into all of the photo etch when it comes to the railings on the superstructure or the upper decks. Again, more layouts for the I'm just gonna call it the catwalk. I don't know the name of it. Sorry. Again, it's very it's not that much parts. You have some photo etch, again, ladders, pretty straightforward. What I do suggest is that you build everything on the hull as one part, and paint everything, and the railing, put everything on, so it's just basically done, mounted on whatever you want to mount it on, whether it's these kind of things, or if you want to use the mounts that are coming with the kit itself. But finish everything first, and then finish everything here, and make everything finished, so when you're done, you can just put the finished part straight down on the model, and it's no hassle. Everything is just aligned, and because if you put all of the superstructure before you add on the small parts, it's finicky, it's fiddly, and you'll save yourself a lot of angst and anger if you basically don't follow the way that they are telling you to do it. But in this instructions, they do tell you to finish this first and then finish this, so that's good. Moving on, page 13, again, adding all of the twin anti-air, life rafts, all of the different parts, photo etch, ladders again, mounting of the life rafts again. And this is really nice. They've actually made the crane in photo etch, so that's very nice. And then it's basically the last couple of things that you do before you've basically finished the kit. Again, a little bit of photo etch, and then I guess it's the tower or itself with all the searchlights, catapult for the float plane, and then it's the radar. Again, here you also have the option to buy the 3D printed part, and I do believe, I'm not sure if it's Bunker Model who produces these, but I do know that there's another company that produces these, and they end up being really, really nice. I'm trying to find if I can show you guys something that I've done, that I made for another build that I'm building currently, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see a little bit better. So this is the photo etch. Everything here is photo etch. It's super detailed. It's finicky as hell, but combined with the other parts that you put on the radar, I need a pair of tweezers. Get these out. As you can see, when you put this on here, you can see that it's much more detailed. You have the railings, you have the ladder, those little I guess these are the distance measure parts. Those are in 3D. So when you have this compared to the kit itself, it really makes the model stand out if you go to the length and purchase something that is much more detailed. So if you have the money, I would say that buy the radar parts, because it's so much nicer. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit again. Again, main mast. I assume this is the radar. Torpedo tubes. Torpedo launchers. Funnel. Photo etch. Oh, this is really nice. So yeah, the detail, or the extra detail that you get in this model is pretty good. I think this is the aft funnel, and this is the front funnel. And here you can see the details of the main guns. As you can see, you only have a little bit of photo etch, and you can choose between having guns with blast bags, I guess, and not blast bags, or maybe these are for the two guns in the front of the ship, and these rest of the four are in the back, because of water coming in. I don't know. I just build them. Again, page 22, putting on the catapults, torpedo launchers. I guess this is, what do you call it? The conning tower. And main mast. If you want to do the rigging, put all of the rigging, all of the lines, attach them to the mast before, and let them just dangle down. And then mount the mast, and then stretch the rigging lines to where they are supposed to go afterwards. The option is you put the mast on and then start pulling the lines, or putting the lines afterwards. But if you put everything here, you don't need to work high on the model. You just have the mast flat on the table, or something in a vise or something, and then you can work on it while you have your hands firmly on the table. Works much better. Yeah, and of course, if you want to use this, go ahead. But if you, as I said, if you want to go for something a little bit bigger, this is for a 1:200 scale USS Missouri that I'm currently working on as a commission build. But you do have the option to, of course, use some smaller ones. You can also go for the I want to show you something that you can also use, and that is, if I can just find it. No, here we go. Just want to show you a little bit. You can also use 50 caliber shells that I've cut, made whole, so you can put screws in it and use these, or maybe use the upper half. That is a possibility. You can also use 7.2. It's also an option. Just cut it here, drill through so you make a hole, and then of course you buff it up first, and then use that as a plinth. Or go ahead and purchase some real plinths if you want to go down that way. These are the small ones. So yeah, there are many options regarding what you can use as plinths instead of the standard ones that comes along with the ship. Just wanted to show you the options so you can decide for yourself. So let's go to the model itself. So main guns, open it up, and let's zoom in a little bit. Actually, the details are pretty good. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Here we go. So this is one of the main guns. They actually done a pretty good job. And as you can see, yeah, it's almost as good as you don't need to go for a 3D printed part. Can I zoom in a little bit more? Oh yeah, it's really good. Rivets are all nice and crisp. Wow, I'm glad. So let's zoom out a little bit again. I need to do this. Or maybe I can change the view. Let's try to change the view and see what happens. The zoom is a little bit off. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit. Here we go. Good. So let's move on. This is the superstructure part. Let's zoom in a little bit again. Details are pretty good. I have to admit, these are pretty thin. Let's see if I can show you that. They are pretty thin. I thought they would be a little bit thicker because some of the older models from Trumpeter, these were pretty thick. But I think these are pretty good. Not to scale, of course, but I do think they can work out pretty good. So next is the main superstructure, I guess it is. Again, let's see if we can zoom in. Some marks that you need to take a cut out. I guess this is from the sprue itself when it was constructed. Yeah, I have to say the details are pretty good. Let's see if I can show you a little bit better. It's pretty good. Again, I'm positively surprised. Next one is the yeah, what do you call it? Plinth. Nothing special. Next part is part of the funnel, or the rangefinder. And let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Searchlights. And I do believe that I can see the part of the this is the one of the Bofors, I think, guns, perhaps. Let's look at the building schematics. See if we can find where the so here we are, C-29. Yep, C-29. So I would definitely go for an upgrade on these. I want to show you afterwards the some 3D printed Oerlikons that might be a substitute for the kit parts. Okay, we have the nameplate. And propellers, I assume one of the funnels, shaft, main mast, and here we are, have the propeller section. Yeah, I think if you sand these down a little bit, I think they can work. Also, I think you need to sand a little bit on the propellers to make them a little bit thinner. So, next. two identical sprues. I guess these are these are identical. So I'm just gonna put one away. So main guns 3 and 3. That's a little bit strange. Maybe am I missing something here? So we got 3 without the blast bags, and we got 3 with blast bags. So that means that maybe 3 of the main guns had blast bags and 1 did not. Need to look into that. Again, here's the Orlicons, part of the AA armament. Life rafts. Main searchlights, I assume. And other bits, and then I can't see any flash. Of course, a little bit of a little bit that you can maybe see here if I go like this again and maybe show. There are some lines here that you call it. I'm not sure what you call it. Lines that were when the sprue tree was basically made, it goes like this, and I guess it's a small little seam, but it's almost undetectable. But of course, using you need to sand it down anyway to make it go away. Last sprue tree. They've been really good protecting sprue trees. That's nice. And here are the last sprue tree with, again, some masts and some, I guess, some containers that you put on the main deck. Again, don't see any noticeable flash. See some punch marks that needs to be either filled in or sanded. But you need to fit the part and see if it's visible or not on the kit before you build it. So basically do a dry run, I assume that you can say. Again, float plane, blank clear plastic, so that you can mask off the cockpit, and so you don't need to put silver on it. So that's really nice. Details again, really good. The wings are complete. Upper part, lower part, not as like in a model airplane, 1:7:2 scale or bigger. These are basically complete. You take this part and that part, put it right up there, glue it together, and then you put the tail fin is also here. So it's basically one part, 2 parts, and you have basically the whole airplane. And of course, engine cover and propeller. And then you have the hull. I'm gonna They really did a good job of bagging everything and protecting the model, which is really nice. I really like that. It's not like all the model companies that put all the sprues in one plastic bag and just hope for luck. Trumpeter is really doing a good job. They have done a really good job. When they made this model, in my honest opinion. Of course, all the plating are completely there are no individual platings on it. This needs to be cut down, of course, sanded down, but that's not a big job. And the fits on the deck for the deck is really good, in my honest opinion. If you squeeze it down, you can see that it is a really good fit. A little bit of leeway, but if you position it right in the middle and glue it or put some glue it and then maybe put some filler on it, you'll have a really nice seamless seam around the whole ship. So over to the photo edge. Again, a good sturdy cardboard protecting the photo edge, and every photo edge also has a plastic protection. Really nice trumpeter. I really like it. So these are the railings. These are, I would assume, basically a standard railing for US destroyers from the Second World War. Easy to fit, easy to bend, very pliable. I like it. So, last part, let's zoom in a little bit. Again, you have the protection for the olicons. You have the one of the masts, or the maybe it's the crane, catapult, different ladders, main ladders. A little bit more railing, depending on where they are supposed to go. So yeah, and of course, details are not that. The details are there, but it's not like it's super detailed, but it's better than the plastic for sure. And it's not that many parts. It's only approximately 72 parts of photo edge. And if you add these 6, so it's 80-ish parts. And the last one that we are looking at is, of course, the chain, which is good. Really like those. And the last part that we're going to go through are the decals, decal sheet. Let's zoom out a little bit again. Really nice. You have the decals for the airplane. Excuse me. Of course, the flags. Of course, you all know that you can put these in between some aluminum foil, glue them to the aluminum foil, cut the aluminum foil around it, and paint it in the edges where they are red, painted red, a little bit of white, and then you can basically apply the aluminum foil as so that the flag is waving in the wind. Pretty basic, but turns out pretty nice also. So there you have it. This was a quick review of the Trumpeters 1 to 200 scale USS Stevens. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you contemplate buying the ship. I think it's going to be a fun build. Oh yeah, I've almost forgot to show you. So these are some United States Oerlikon 20mm cannons that you can swap for the kit parts, and I really want to show you these because these are superb. I'm not sure if you can see it. I can zoom in a little bit more. Here we go. Look at that. These are absolutely gorgeous. And if you want to do something special with your model, I really I'm floored looking at it through the camera myself here. And of course you also get, I assume it's the cannon, no, the ammunition crates. And of course they can be swapped with the parts that comes with the ship. So this little box with ammo lockers, you can basically kit out or do a little bit more detailing on some of the parts on the ship while you're building it. So that was it. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you will consider buying it. Looking at the kit, it's brand new. I got it from Squadron on pre-order, and when they got it in-house, I live in Norway, and Squadron is in the US. Of course, the VAT and the customs cost a little bit, but I just wanted it, and I put it up for pre-order. And when it came, it was I've been looking forward to going through this with you guys, and yeah, I'm going to enjoy building it sometime in the future when I'm done with my USS Missouri. So hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, bye.